What's up, people? I'm Xogue here with a vanilla Minecraft tutorial for you. This is going to work on any version greater than 1.11, so if you're trying to find one before that version, then this is not going to work for you because it does require the observer blocks. But before we get too far into anything, let's go ahead and demonstrate. Of course, you have the same old trading cell right here. And bloop, you drop a villager in, their water channel, boom, block appears over his head. You're like, oh, blah-de-de-blah, you have trades, you have things, I don't like you. Goodbye. And he drops. Now, granted, I have them dropping into lava because it doesn't matter. You can do lava as long as you don't have a village nearby. Because if you have a village nearby, you will get credit for killing them. And I've heard stories ranging from you just get negative points to it turns off your breeding system. So I don't know. And granted, if it does, it only happens for a few minutes. But if you wanted to be safe, it doesn't have to be lava. You can just drop them into a water channel and send them 30 some blocks away or something, which should be far enough in order to kill them without you getting credit. I don't remember how far it actually has to be, but 30 or so blocks should be fine. Anyway, so there you go. There's the demonstration. It does work. Let's move on with exactly how it works. Now, looking at this improved version of a trading cell, you may not think it's tileable, but it is. And I wanted to make that known real quick right off the bat, just because of the fact that it doesn't look like it, and it is in the title of the video. Don't worry, we're going to go over it. It's going to be a little later. But if you only want to have one at a time, if you want to have a space in between the villager trading cells, you do not need to do the tileable pattern. It might actually look tileable, but this strictly won't work. Some of you with redstone will know that these will blend and it just blah, blah, blah. There's a way around all of that. I have found all of that, a way around everything there. We'll get to that. But if you want a space, you don't have to worry about this because you can just do this pattern here and here and here. And I do so in my vanilla series. If you'd like to go check it out, there is a link in the description. Thank you for letting me throw that into the video. And now we're going to move on. What we have here, basically, you have 2 observer blocks, 3 redstone, 2 sticky pistons, a few blocks that you don't care about, a piece of string, 4 redstone, there's a 4th down here, which is basically the disposal system, a button. You kind of see what's here. Everything but that is visible. So you have the trapdoor and yeah. So you get it. Now, the way it works is basically a villager will fall through this because it has no collision box. They're not going to see it. They're not going to get into it. And since, well, when it's open, it doesn't. When it's closed, it does. But that doesn't matter because it's always open in this design. So the villager will fall down. They will hit this string. Now, string is something the observer block can see, as you can see there. You step in, and it closes. You step out, and it opens. It detects whether something enters and leaves the string, which makes this the perfect solution for the observer block situation that we have going on here. So when that happens, this block right here will send the redstone signal and light this one up, which this one sees and will send up into this block, activating both of these. Now, it's only for about a tick, which is long enough to trigger them, maybe 2 ticks, which is long enough to trigger these guys, but there's a little thing going on in here. If you pay attention to this, can we just throw an item? Bloop. Bam. You see how it's switched? It's so short of a pulse. Basically, what's happening is when the block is here and gets extended, this block does not have time to fully seat or settle into place before this guy starts to retract. So instead of bringing it back with the sticky piston, it actually leaves it there. And this is basically how the farm or how the trading cell works. It works out really well that way, and you kind of see it there, this just the same. So that's how it works, okay? And you can kind of see how to build it. There's no hidden redstone here except for the one piece that is underneath this block that is used to activate the trapdoor. The other thing about building this farm is that you want to place the trapdoor against the block that the redstone is in. In other words, when you assemble this farm, have a block right here. Before you do any of this string or anything, when you put down the trapdoor, you want to place it against this block. And then get your string, put it on top, and then you can put your block, or then you can put your redstone, and then you can put your block, and then you can do it. And if you do it in that order, then everything will be fine. The reason you want this guy to open from that edge is because that way when the villager is here, if they get stuck on the edge of this trapdoor, you can just punch them once, which I just broke the thing, but it's fine. Nope. There we go. So you can just punch them backwards once. Let's go ahead and demonstrate this a little bit. So if they get stuck on the trapdoor, which this guy probably isn't actually, but you can just hit them back and they'll go backwards. And then the trapdoor will set them loose. If you do it on the other side and you try to punch them, then you're actually going to be punching them on top of the trapdoor. So it's pretty important to go ahead and do this if you want to be able to make sure your disposal system always works. It's the only real tricky thing about setting this one up is where you place the trapdoor. It's very important. Now, I explained to you that it wasn't tileable, but now I'm going to demonstrate why. Because there is a piece of redstone underneath, this is what happens when you try to put them side by side. Nothing. Nothing happens. Why does nothing happen? Because these guys now connect underneath, and they're no longer able to activate the trapdoors that are right beside it. And the same back here. If one entity goes back here, watch, both of them trigger at the same time. And untrigger, apparently. I don't know. There's just lots of problems with this. But there is a fix for it. So after you've set this up, step one to make it tileable is to remove this redstone, remove these buttons, remove all of this, and just put the buttons on the ground. Now, each one will activate individually. Then you want to grab yourself a repeater and switch both of these two pieces of redstone out, and that way they don't mix. But also, you have to add another piece of redstone right there. Then what you need to do is come around to the back, break this piece of redstone and this block and this guy right there. You want to take the observer and basically move it back one block and then lay that there, another block here. Put the repeater on the first block, put the redstone on the second block, and that way, when it triggers, it won't trigger all of the pistons. It'll only trigger these two. Now you want to go to the top, and this part is important for a reason I'm going to show you later. But you want to take some trapdoors, break the fence posts, or the fence gates, hit the trapdoor against the side on both, or all, however many of these you have. And that way, when you lift them up, they are sideways like this. Then you want to actually go down below and do the same thing to these guys. One here. Let's go around and place another block because we're going to need it. And one here. And you can break that block. And then one there. And then you can break that block. And basically just repeat that design all the way down. Now this design is now completely tileable. You literally can repeat this set of two that you see here as many times as you need to. I would recommend keeping it down to 6 before you have some kind of a space. The reason I say that is because you need one block for the water source and one block to start the water source into the flowing texture. If you only have one, the water source will not flow and they will not go into the first cell until they wander there themselves, which may never happen. If you have two there, then you can actually get them pushed into the first cell, and then they'll continue pushing all the way down to the rest of them. And then after that, since water only flows 8 spaces, you need to repeat that water source. Now, that said, you also need to have a redstone block right here. Or these trapdoors, once they retract, let me see if I can show you real quick. Bloop. See, they shift, and right now they're good. But if you pick up this redstone, they would have closed until I put the redstone blocks. But that's why they are here, to keep them open. They have to be open. So your design can hide these in any way you want, but they are going to have to be a thing. But you got to make sure that you trap your guys in here somehow. So you can start off by just closing it up, whichever way you need to, like so. And then you can do any method you want here. You can have slabs on the top to prevent them from getting out. You can have slabs right here. You can do trapdoors right here. But you do have to be mindful. With this new setup, there is an open gap here, so baby zombies can get in and destroy your villagers. So you got to make sure that not only can they not get out, but you have to make sure the room that this is in is well protected, or at least the feet area of them is well protected. You could probably get away with putting some iron fences around, or iron walls, or whatever they're called, regular walls, regular fences, however you want to do that. You could even go as far as doing something like this, which in my mind is the best option, and that way you can get to them, but zombies cannot get to the villagers inside. Now comes the fun part, where we build it from scratch. I told you how to convert it over if you wanted to do it that way. If you want to build it from scratch, here's what you do. And this is probably the part most of you wanted to know, but sorry that it's at the end. Anyway, go ahead and dig your channel of whatever it is that you want to happen to these guys once they go all the way down. In my case, I'm going to burn the crap out of them with lava. Then you go ahead and put down your trapdoors, remember, facing in this direction. It's got to be this direction. Then you can go ahead, put your string right on top. Take your observer blocks, place it right against those. Then you want to have one with a repeater, one without a repeater. Then you put the repeater in front of the other one with another piece of redstone, and at the end of both of those repeaters. Then you want to take your observer blocks, place them both on top, just like so. Quartz or building block, building block, building block, building block. Bunch of those guys and repeater right, just like that. I'm not really describing it. Hopefully you're watching. And you can go like that. I don't think you'd be able to do this without watching anyway, so I think we're safe. And then you want to go ahead and first of all get your blocks to place against. Put some of these guys right there. Trapdoor, lift, break, place, lift, break. Then you can go ahead and place these guys and break all of those. And you actually want to switch these. You want these to be switched. So that way it's already prepped and ready for you by the time you start this. I hadn't considered that. Anyway, so now that they're switched, just like so, now you just need to go ahead and put a button on the ground or change out the block and then put the button on the ground, just like so. These guys work, those guys work. If we go and walk in, it should switch. It should switch, just like that. Now we got to make sure we get these trapdoors right here. So if we go again, put the block, trapdoor, lift, and then there you go. Now we need to put the casing on the outside of this. And see, these guys switched. You see, that's why the redstone block is indeed important. Let's go ahead and get this guy and boop, bam, and come on, place it. There we go. So there's that. That's not where those are supposed to go. Well, I guess it doesn't matter, actually. In this case, that is where they go. And then you go all the way around, go like this. And then these are eventually going to be filled in too. I'm going to fill those in. So this is going all the way across, just like so. And these are going to go all the way across, just like so as well. Then you need to do the water channel. Now, keep in mind that these blocks right here need to remain empty. Okay? And remember I said you need two sources right here. Or two blocks right here so that the water can start flowing into these blocks. Then it's going to go all the way to the end, and I think they're going to end up being pushed right here, which is why I say only 6 and not 7, because you need to start the second water source, and we'll get into that too. Now, we should be just about ready to go. Let me finish this off and build out the other two that are right here, and we'll go ahead and test this guy to see exactly how well it works. Couple things that I noticed is that one, these buttons will actually activate all of these guys, so you want to keep your villagers in through some other means. And my vote is probably now that doesn't work. We're just going to go ahead and get a slab. Don't mind me and my not so smart plan of trapdoors. But that works out okay. That works just fine. You can still get to the button. You can still get to the villager, and everything's fine. The other thing is that I wanted to let you know that you actually shouldn't have a village nearby your trading stalls. It shouldn't be anywhere close to it, because since you're going to be trading with these guys, they will get willing, and I believe they are close enough to breed. It's probably not going to happen very often, But hey, now, then again, if you wanted them to breed for whatever reason and you had a way, like for example, the baby zombies or baby villagers will actually run out from here. If you want that to be a thing, it could double as a villager breeder, I suppose, but it's probably better to use one of the more established ones. But anyway, so let's go ahead and see this guy in action. And basically what you want to do is, first of all, make sure that everything is completely covered so that the villagers can't get out. Perfectly safe putting blocks right on top of this. Just make sure there is empty space right there in front of the pistons because the trapdoors are in that location. Go ahead and drop a few villagers in. 1, 2, just like that. And the trapdoor, as you can see there, prevents them from going over and flying over too far. The trapdoor on the bottom keeps them in their respective cells just like so. Keeps them moving just fine. 3, 4, 5. They do take a little bit of damage sometimes because they're bobbing up and down. And if you wanted to prevent that, you could basically have this go like so. So if we go ahead and get rid of these guys, you'll see bloop, 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 bloop. Goodbye, all the villagers. And then you can go ahead back over here. Oh, I pushed shift. I pushed a number while I was shifting to go downwards, so my entire hotbar was cleared out of here. How bummer is that? But anyway, so if you go back to here, 1, 2, not one of these guys will take damage. It takes them a little longer to get in there. Or, I take that back. I guess they do still take damage. Oh, look at you breeding. Oh, I must have right-clicked. That's why he took damage. They shouldn't take damage because they're not able to bob up and down. They do, and they still take damage. So, never mind. But a little bit of damage never hurt anybody. Anyway, so that is exactly how. Now, once you get to the end, I guess we need one more in here so that he gets to the end, and you'll see that the water is going to flow one more block, just like so. Once you get here, it's perfectly acceptable to put a sign in a couple of locations. 1, there can be a block right here. That's not a problem. Number 2, yep, there's an A on that, right here. So then, what all you really need to do to continue this is put a water source here. And if you wanted to do another set of these guys, it only needs to flow 2 blocks. So, yeah, I just messed that up, actually. But I messed up some redstone. There's some redstone back here that's currently not working anymore because I just did that. Are you not? I guess you have to go right here then, huh? Oh, there. Okay, hold on. I gotta fix this. I keep messing things up. Now, basically, what's going to happen is right here and right here. So you only need the 2. So you can actually start your next one 2 blocks away from it. 2 blocks, okay? 2 blocks from this sign right here. You can start your next batch of 6. Or you can make it turn a corner and basically make an epic trading center hall thing. And I don't know about you, but those redstone blocks actually really look cool with the quartz. Now, chances are you're not building out of quartz, so you'll want to hide them, but they're high enough so that you can. They're more than 3 blocks. And most people I know, including myself, we want 3 blocks of headroom, but we don't need any more than that. So you can easily cover those up with whatever ceiling you want, and everything is going to be fine. And look, the baby villagers are over there running around. Now, despite all of the little fumbles that I had, you should hopefully have seen that the farm is completely functional. The only breaks that I really had was when I dumped the water here and didn't have a floor and the water just cleared out a bunch of the redstone back here. But that's just don't do that and you're fine. Also, the derp is real. I am a very derpy person. It's kind of how I like to do things. So go ahead over to my channel, watch my regular series, and we'll kind of just, I don't know, we'll have a whole lot of fun. But I hope you liked the video, and if you did, please do hit that like button. It's going to show not only me, but everybody else that you liked what you saw, and it's going to have them watch it as well. And the more people that watch this, the faster the word will spread about it. And if the word spreads enough, well, everybody will be using this, and it'd be really cool if everybody used my design, because this thing is magnificent. Now I have to go and put this on my server, on my single-player world. So, if you liked the video, hit the like button, please. And if you want to see more, subscribe. Thank you for watching, do what you do, and I will see you next time. Peace out, peeps.